As we have reached another Wednesday, which comes of course from Wotan Day or Wodan Day, and these are the Germanic terms of Odin, the Norse gods, and the rune related to Odin is Ansuz. So let's continue our journey in the discovery of the 24 Elder Futhark runes, and today let's have a quick look at the rune Ansuz, the meaning behind it, if we get an upright and a reversed one. Now, the whole story and mythology of Odin, I've made already some quick introduction videos about that. Like, he was of course the Allfather and the king of Asgard, the upper gods, the sky gods of the upper world in the ice here. Now, Odin really represents a massive divine archetype. That's why he was called the Allfather, and he of course was a ruler over the 9 different worlds in the world tree. Now, of course, this is mythology, so we can also look this from a more shamanic perspective, and even looking at this from a cosmology perspective, because the world tree, it really has of course the shape over perhaps even our own nervous system. It can also look to nebulas in our cosmos. So it really refers to so much that the logical mind cannot really comprehend. But of course, within our past of Norse Germanic mythologies, these were of course stories that kind of described the perspective on our cosmos, really. So when we look to Ansuz, Ansuz is related to the Norse god Odin, and this really refers to the breath, to the spoken word, towards communication, to philosophy, to poetry, to self-expression. So that's kind of really the core of the meaning of Ansuz. Now, when we have a reversed Ansuz, that could really mean is that there is a level of miscommunication, or we can't really seem to express ourselves for one reason or another, or there's like deception or deceit going on, or there are things coming at us in our business relationship where things are not flowing really that well within terms of communication, obviously. So that's kind of really what's happening when we get a reversed one. Now, coming back to the archetype of Odin, Odin was of course like the seeker for knowledge and wisdom. He was the king of Asgard. He was also the king of war. Also, there was like a darker, sinister part to it as well, because he played a massive role in Ragnarok, because he came to a vision when he was looking for the knowledge and the wisdom of the runes, when he traveled towards the world tree, because he was ruler and he was able to travel through the 9 different worlds. Comes again the number 9, because what he did, he hung himself upside down for 9 days and 9 nights on the world tree, the ash tree, because he wanted to travel towards the well of Mimir. And what he did, he sacrificed his eye, his left eye, to Mimir, because he wanted to gain insights in the cosmology and the 24 Elder Futhark runes. And it was of course a massive sacrifice. Also, he took a spear and stabbed it as well, so he went through almost like a very painful initiation, which is also related to the shamanic archetype. The shamanic archetype really relates as well to the path or the rite of passage of initiation, where we will be able to travel through different realms and realities, which is also related to the world tree with the 9 different worlds. So Ansuz, Odin, represents the number 9, which is also the last number in numerology. Now, within numerology, you can also calculate your life path number. It depends on date of birth, the place of birth, the time of birth, and all of that difficult calculation, and you can figure out a life path number 9. Now, by accident, not really by accident, I've done a numerology reading for myself as well, and I also have the life path number 9. Yay, yippee. Not so much. Because life path number 9 is also here to completely transcend the ego towards higher consciousness. So this is also related to the path of the seer, the magician, the shaman, the seeker of knowledge and wisdom. And that also really relates a lot to working with ancestral patterns as well, as Odin, of course, is the number one ancestor, the Allfather. So within shamanism, there are also, of course, modules, healing modalities like ancestral healing, where we are diving into that as well, which we can look into our own ancestral patterns, giving to our direct fathers, grandfathers, great grandfathers, up to 10, 12 generation deeps, and maybe we still have like an influence of over 4,000 ancestors influencing our current perspective on reality. So as you can imagine, the divine archetype of Odin, the Allfather, he knows a lot. He has a lot of knowledge, he has a lot of wisdom, and he cannot really see himself like one expert on one thing. And how more you know, how more you realize what you don't know, but it can also be like really like an overwhelming thing, like I've got so much of knowledge and wisdom, how in the earth I'm going to bring that all into, for example, one thing, one realm, one reality. So as the shaman of course travels through different realities, collecting knowledge, wisdom, and trying to bring it back. Now, one of the major challenges within that, which really relates to me as well, is of course like how can we bring that all together and somewhat deliver that in a crystal clear message so people can relate to that. But another thing, which is also related to Ansuz, is first we must go through lots of painful experiences as well. We are going through the path of sacrifices, and we are going to suffer basically just as Odin, because that is part of our rite of passage or initiation to gain insights in the different realms, realities, and that what we must experience within our own conscious mind. This is part of the life path number 9 as well. Because life path number 9, it also relates to having a humanitarian mission, purpose. That's really what's happening at the soul level. We are working with the soul here. And that's why this number 9 archetype, it is a very challenging path. So as you can imagine, yeah, we can say Ansuz relates to communication, self-expression, the spoken word, the beginning of all creation. It was of course the king of the warriors, the practitioner of divination, gaining insight in the runes, helping people to gain insight within their own soul's journey. But it also relates once again to the energy of the king. It also relates to the energy of the lover, as Odin of course was also a great lover. He loved of course being with lots of different women. But of course he also relates to the warrior archetype, as of course he was the king of war as well, together with Freya. And within his sacrifice in the 9 days and 9 nights he hanged himself on the world tree, of course he also gained insights at the end times, like a word that was never spoken before, Ragnarok, the beginning of the end times and transition into the new. So then we also comes to the part, like the dark part of it. He was after the souls of the warriors who died in battle. And then he commanded the Valkyrie to collect these souls on the battlefield, because he wanted to collect them and preparing them in the afterlife of Ragnarok. So he could fight, of course, the end battle, where many gods died and where the world tree burned. The world burned. Of course, now we can also relate to the current time that we are living in today, where we are moving into a massive transition, death and rebirth. So there's lots of things that goes together with the archetype of Odin, of shamanism, the magician, the seer. You could even say it is like the Gandalf in the Lord of the Rings. So when we get the rune Ansuz, it really depends as well, like what kind of other runes are related to this. Like quite recently I did like a rune reading, and then I also turned that into a shamanic healing journey. And the last rune I basically got was like the reversed Ansuz, but it also was really related to a journey at developing our gift of divination, okay, which I explained in that video. So anyway, this is a quick explanation of the meaning of the rune Ansuz, which relates to the Allfather Odin. And yeah, if you get this into a rune reading, then it really depends what is currently going on in your life right now, what is part of your soul's journey, your purpose and your calling, and how that relates also together with other runes as well. For me, what I notice is that I might have a challenge within my communication, like everything that I do here on my videos and the things that I want to bring. Like sometimes I feel I've got so much of knowledge and information that I want to share, and sometimes I get pointed out like it's all great, but you know, try to bring more authenticity to it, for example. So this could be like a challenge. I'm just giving here an example of what I'm going through. Or how do we bring all this information from the universe and the cosmos, and how can we really bring that back together at a more simple way so people can understand to it and relate to it? Because yes, those who are living on a life path number 9 are going through so much of challenges and sacrifices basically to understand human life, so we can of course relate more to the challenges of other people, because eventually we are here on this path not only of self-healing but also bring the spoken word of inspiration, because once we are inspired we are in spirit. So that's really kind of like the whole purpose with it as well. Anyway, if you got any questions, please let me know. Simply drop a comment below, like, share, subscribe, join our community for men, the soul tribe for men, which I like to call the wolf tribe, which is more really related to men who are on this spiritual path of shamanism, self-improvement, health, wellness, really connecting much more with their soul's journey, their soul's purpose, of course, and then bring that together into a souls driven business as well. But of course I also offer one-on-one readings together with personalized shamanic healing journeys as well, where we really integrate these energies of the runes. Alright, so just follow the links down below within my description, and I look forward to see you on my next videos. Take care for now.